So, have you ever really thought about how to introduce yourself in German? Talk about where you're from. It's actually a bit more interesting than just a one-to-one translation. Today, we're going to break down the three big essentials: your country, your language, and your nationality. Let's get right into it. This is really the big question we're tackling, isn't it? How do you actually introduce yourself in German? Stick with me, because by the time we're done here, you are going to have all the tools you need to answer this, no problem. Okay, first things first, we need to build a solid foundation. And honestly, it all comes down to three core German words. These are absolutely essential for any introduction. So let's meet them. Our very first concept is das Land. Super straightforward. It just means the country. This is all about your geographical origin, the actual place you come from. And next up, we've got die Sprache. This, of course, is the language. It's the word for what you use to communicate, whether that's your native tongue or another language you're picking up. And our third keyword here is die Nationalität. This one's all about your nationality. It's tied to your identity, your citizenship. So there you have it, the place, the way you communicate, and your identity. Simple enough, right? All right, now that we know the word for a language, how do we actually, say what we speak? Well, for that, we're going to need one really important verb.
And that verb is sprechen, which means to speak. This is your absolute go-to word anytime you're talking about languages. It doesn't matter if it's your native language or one you're just learning, sprechen is the word you want.
And check out how easy this is to use. To say what you speak, you just start with ich spreche and then list the languages. For instance, ich spreche English und Hindi. See? You're already building real sentences. Now here's a cool little pattern for you to spot. A ton of languages in German end with this suffix, ish. Just look at this list: English, Spanish, Italianish. Once you notice that pattern, you can start making some pretty good guesses about other languages too. Okay, let's move on and tackle our third core concept, nationality. Now this is where German throws in a really fascinating little twist that we just don't have in English. It all comes down to one simple but totally crucial rule. And here is that rule. In German, the word you use for your nationality is actually gendered. It changes depending on whether you're male or female. This is a distinction you've absolutely got to know. And this slide shows you exactly how it works. A man from India is an Inder, but a woman from India is an Inderin. See that little suffix at the end, in? You just add that to the masculine form to make it feminine. It's a neat little trick. Now, let's talk about something that trips up a lot of new learners. There's a really important difference between saying where you come from, your country, and stating what your nationality is. They actually use different sentences. So, to talk about your origin, you'd say, ich komme aus Indien, which literally means I come from India. But to state your nationality, you'd say, ich bin Inder, meaning I am Indian. Notice that difference? One uses the country, and the other uses that specific nationality noun we just talked about. Okay, we've covered the core words, the key verb, and those tricky grammar rules. Now let's pull it all together into a simple toolkit that's going to help make these ideas really stick in your head. I want you to think of it like this. Your land, your country, that's the garden you grew up in. Your Sprache, the languages you speak, well, those are the tools you use to work in that garden. And finally, your Nationalität, that's like the badge you wear showing which garden you belong to. And this right here is the whole point of the analogy. You can collect and use a bunch of different tools, right? You can speak many languages, but you typically only wear one badge, which represents your main nationality. And here it is, all laid out in a handy little reference guide. You can see the country, the land, the language, the Sprache, and then the matching male and female nationality. So, for example, if you're from Deutschland, you speak Deutsch, and you are a Deutscher if you're a man, or a Deutsche if you're a woman. See? It's all connected. So, there you have it. We've covered the garden, the tools, and the badge. You've got the complete toolkit. Now, the only question left is for you. With everything you've just learned, how are you going to introduce yourself in German?